This is 3 Count Thoughts. You can catch a new episode every Monday where we discuss a moment in wrestling history and the week's highlights and hell knows in professional wrestling. Are you ready? Ring the bell. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 3 Count Thoughts. This is where we take a little moment of history of pro wrestling. We talk about that for a little bit, and then we go into the week in wrestling, or we just ramble on about wrestling stuff that irritates us, or what makes us excited, or we talk about how Jim Cornette's hilarious.
Yeah.
If you guys would like to send us a message on our Twitter machine there, you can go and send that to @3CountThoughts. Or you can go to 3countthoughts@gmail.com and send us an email. We also have a YouTube that you can, I bet you won't be able to guess how to find us. Type in 3 Count Thoughts. That's right. Anywhere you want to find us, any kind of podcatcher, social media, this or that, it's just 3 Count Thoughts. You'll figure it out. I'm sure you will. I have faith that you are a highly intelligent audience, and we're just going to go with that. All right, cool. So, how you doing, Maverick?
Oh, I'm good.
You good? Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, just a little background real quick, in case anybody's been wondering, where the hell did those guys go? So I recently had a loss of life in my family, and it kind of took me away from the game for a little bit. And I apologize to all the listeners out there. It was a something. You know, it's not hard to lose a parent. That's just, or it's not hard. It is hard to lose a parent. See, I can't even put my words together properly. Anyway, so that happened, and it sucks. And I am trying to move forward in life. And I hope you guys can bear with my stumbling, bumbling, goofy dumbness. But you know, that's my doors are wide open. I'm an open book, and I'm easy to read. Because well, there's just not a whole lot of intelligence in the words on mine. Anyway, that being said, let's go ahead and get into the show and have a little fun here. First thing I wanted to do is I wanted to talk a little bit about catch as can, and that's how it's referred to as catch as can wrestling, which is the European style of wrestling that we know of as pro wrestling here in the United States. It's the same thing, and for the most part, the main thing about catch as can wrestling is it was a lot of holds, and it was a lot of joint manipulation and things of that nature that made it really, really cool. So like guys like Pete Dunne or William Regal back in the day, or, you know, Brian Danielson, you know, these guys are very, very well known catch as can wrestlers. You know, I think who am I? There's a lot of really great ones out there. I think Dean Malenko is well known for being a catch as can wrestler too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the
So,
most part.
but it all started in like the 1870s with a John Graham Chambers, who, strangely enough, was a aquatic and pedestrian fame. Apparently, he was into aquatics. I don't know what that means, but West Brampton, which he dominated, catch as can style wrestling, first down to lose. So the I didn't take a lot of time to read into this. I'm sorry. And normally I read it ahead of time and then go through it. But as far as catch as can wrestling goes, it was, you know, introduced to the United States in the 19th and 20th centuries, and it became extremely popular with the wrestlers in carnivals. And then through the carnival, you know, the catch as can style in the carnivals, it kind of evolved into the what we call the slam bang Western style that was brought on by the Gold Dust Trio, which we had discussed in the very first episode. So it was kind of the, you know, the earlier version of that. So there was a lot of holding, a lot of what it was is it slowed the matches down and made the matches longer. And there was a point where kind of would draw on and you would lose interest after a while. So that's where they switched it up to the slam bang style, where it was a lot more, you know, usage of standing and going toe to toe in the middle of the ring and utilizing certain martial arts styles and things like that. But the original catch as can style is a derivative of the Roman Greco wrestling, but mainly utilizing demonstration of like heavy uses of holds and joint manipulation and submission holds and things like that. So that's where a lot of that came from. And if you'd like to learn more, there's a Wikipedia actually just on Catch as Can, which is what I was looking at here as I was rolling through it. I wait. Whoa! Apparently wrestling. Okay, so wrestling in the Olympics kind of became a bigger deal in 1904. I just happened to look over and see that. Anyway, I'm gonna move
Ooh,
on from
side
this.
stuff.
What's that?
Side stuff.
Side stuff. Yeah. So I'm going to move on from that because there's so many different forms of wrestling out there. There's the Irish collar and elbow, which, you know, is just another derivative of catch as can, in my opinion. But it just all eventually times it, rain. Come on. So there's different submissions and things like that they refer to as hooks. And a lot of the collar and elbow stuff had a lot of hooks and stuff like that in it also. But you can look this up on your own, obviously. I don't know exactly where to go with that. I just know that I had a lot of fun of watching catch as can wrestling. I think it's probably one of the purest forms of wrestling just because of the joint manipulation and the submissions. But at the same time, I can see how it can get a little boring if you're stuck in one hold. And well, if you watch an MMA match, once they get to the ground and they get like stuck in
Yeah,
the
it gets
corner,
really boring
it
once
can get
once it
really
gets.
boring to watch an MMA match. And that's because, one, it's legit and they are not trying to just win the match. They don't care if you are excited at that point. They just want to win. But at the same time, to get that, it would basically be like sticking Jean-Claude Van Damme in an MMA match and telling him and having him doing his flippy do kicks and stuff like that. He would get his ass beat in seconds. It would be terrible. But if they were working together, which is something that is uh kind of annoying in pro wrestling, is all of the obvious working together stuff. It's supposed to look like it's like not, like it's an actual fight, but a lot of the times it doesn't because there's all that obvious cooperation going on. Uh, that's what it would look like if you were to put somebody like Jean-Claude Van Damme in an MMA fight and he tried to do his jump up stretchy spin kick thing he does in the movies. It just wouldn't work out good. He would get slammed hard,
You get
really, really hard.
slam, bam,
Yeah.
plammed. Yeah, it wouldn't be pretty.
So did you watch any wrestling in the past, like, was it 2 weeks now?
Yes.
Okay, because I've been watching like I never stop
I've
watching
been
wrestling no
watching
matter
some
what's going on in my
storylines
life.
that I really want to talk about.
Okay, cool. And we're
And
talking
then the
about,
Royal Rumble Saturday,
so let's
as we're
focus on the Raw
recording.
storylines that you are aware of first, so we can kind of stay kind of in kind of a line. So, what happened in the Raw episodes recently that you really stood out to you?
Well, it was we're recording this on a Wednesday. This last Monday, uh, Seth Rollins came out because it was told that he legitimately injured a part of his body. I think it was either his back,
No, it
one
was
of
his
his
knee.
not. Yeah, his knee. My
It
bad.
was his knee. Yeah.
Yeah, the week prior, and there were talks that he was going to abdicate or whatever. He was going to, so he can rest up and stuff instead of being a workhorse champion. Just putting the title on the ground, and the Royal Rumble. People were saying that the Royal Rumble should be who's going to be the next world heavyweight champion, which I'm like, that's a terrible idea. But well, in a way, it's not a bad idea, but it's not a good idea in my opinion, to be honest. So he came out, and then Gunther came out with his cronies, or
Yeah,
his
yeah,
crony.
that was pretty telling. I was at one point I was kind of wondering if, like, I mean, I know we're dealing with the Royal Rumble. I was wondering if Gunther was going to try to get a match ahead of time, or if there was going to be like a, oh, here's my belt kind of moment, you know what I mean? Because I hate
Oh,
those. Like, yeah,
I'm the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion.
yeah. Well,
Which I'm
and
like, he's got to be up there with Roman Reigns by now. So I think
no, he's at like he's almost a day 600. That's about as far as he is. He's nowhere near 1,000 yet. I mean, that's going to be some time coming.
I think that'll be WrestleMania.
Yeah.
WrestleMania
What I did like is the interaction between Gunther and Seth. Gunther was giving him a lot of props and like giving him a lot of kudos for being a working champion, and but he did the little smarmy like
he
heel
was a
thing where he kept
respectable
comparing it
heel.
to himself. Yeah, he kept.
I read the comments. I read the comments of the YouTube video underneath because I wanted to rewatch it.
Uh,
So what people were saying underneath is that they like how, because Gunther's still considered a heel, but well, in wrestling terms, heel is a bad guy. For all those non-wrestling people, heel is a bad guy, face is a good guy. But they were saying it's a nice, refreshing way to do a heel, like how he's respecting Seth Rollins as a working champion, but at the same time doing his heelish stuff.
a lot of that reminds me of William Regal.
Yeah.
His style
Mm-hmm.
of like, because he would be very like proper. I don't know about respectful, but he was proper. And I believe Gunther is very proper in the way he approaches his um his conversations with his opponents. He's very prim and proper with the way he speaks, but at the same time, you can tell he's a heel because he's smarmy, and he talks more about himself, or he compares all the good points of somebody to himself. So he's always pushing to elevate himself. At the same time, he's not necessarily putting down his opponent and building his opponent up to look like a viable, opponent for himself, but at the same time making it where it's like, I'm going to smash you, bro.
I mean, but at the same time, I was kind of hoping for CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, but it doesn't look like it's going to go that way though. With Gunther coming out, unless they make that a triple threat match,
Well,
because I
so
think this
that could
match
be
would.
this whole thing could have been a filler, and it could be an attempt at a swerve. So that's where that could be also. As far as CM Punk and his push towards his WrestleMania moment, um, it necessarily may not be what everybody expects. So here's a scenario. So let's say that they go to the Royal Rumble and Cody wins
Again,
and Seth doesn't. Oh, well, yeah, so Cody gets his match against Roman Reigns.
I'm trying to think. Did he win last year? I think he won last year.
Yes, he won last year. He would be the second only person to win two back to back. I think Stone Cold was the other one.
Yeah. I know Stone Cold did it.
Yeah, I think he was the only person to have done it until possibly Cody Rhodes may do it here. That being said, so let's say
I
that,
don't think it's going to happen though.
well, say Cody Rhodes wins and he gets his chance to go at Roman for his,
Again,
to finish his story. And now CM Punk is asked out right there, right?
yep.
There's no reason why CM Punk couldn't get a WrestleMania moment that has nothing to do with a title.
Or Gunther CM Punk would still be good anyway.
That would be actually probably an amazing match.
That'd be a great match
Because if,
if they would
if
think about
CM
it.
Punk was to like go and just do an advert, and then possibly if Gunther was to say be the one to throw him out of the Royal Rumble, or vice versa, if Punk throws him out
Ooh,
and then they get into a confrontation, that
ooh,
would
I
create a
can
possible
see
storyline.
that. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then so
Oh
then he
yeah.
goes, "Oh, fine. Now my attention is on you. You shouldn't have wanted my attention on you, but now it is." You know how CM Punk is about when he
Yeah,
talks about
CM
his
Punk
attention.
is with the mic, it's phenomenal,
Right.
even to this day.
Well, and just if he was to turn his attention towards Gunther, because Gunther done, he ended up not making the match. Somebody else threw him out, blah, blah, blah. Even if it was Cody that tossed him out, you know how they were talking about the respect thing when it was him and Cody in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but Cody and Seth had their time in the ring on that same episode. And
Yep.
during that conversation that they were having, they also talked about, or at least CM Punk kept referencing to them still being friends at the end. I hope we
Yeah.
can still be friends. That being said, if Cody ends up throwing Rollins out, or not Rollins, I'm sorry, throwing CM Punk out and taking his moment away from him, he would have to pivot and make a move. And he couldn't really blame Cody for trying to do his best, especially since he was doing all this talk. He can't go back on his word unless he's going to turn heel. So he would have to do the best to maintain that friendship going
So we're talking
forward.
about CM Punk here.
Yes.
Yeah, CM Punk would be a great heel.
Well,
CM
yeah, I
Punk
mean, he
was a
is a
great
great heel,
heel.
but at the same time, right now, I don't think that's the role he's going to be going in. What I'm saying is if Cody was to throw him out of the Royal Rumble and CM Punk saying, hey, I hope we can stay friends, maintains that by, okay, so I've lost my opportunity here. I need to redirect. So now he redirects towards Gunther, who is somebody he threw out, and then Gunther talks some smack to him. So now he's going to go after, Gunther's title in WrestleMania, which would give him the WrestleMania moment that he so desired.
Yeah, I could see that. That's not out of the realm of possibility.
It wouldn't be him main eventing. That would be a
No.
problem for him. But
Yeah,
at the
I
same
can
time,
see
if he
that.
was in
Yeah.
that, if he managed to be in the WrestleMania match, that gives him a whole nother year to build towards him finishing his quote unquote story.
It'd be the same thing what they did with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. And just you are new here, so now we're going to do this. It's a way to placate all of the CM Punk lovers out there to like, okay, at least he'll be in WrestleMania. It may not be his WrestleMania moment. And that gives him a whole year to kind of bitch about that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a non heelish way, which he might turn heel by the time he gets there. Who knows?
CM Punk is a good heel. Like I said before.
Well, he's a likable heel. The thing is no matter what, like Chicago's gonna love him.
Yeah,
He could
Chicago's gonna eat
he could
him
club baby
alive.
seals in the ring and he would get cheered for it, in
He'd
Chicago
get CM Punk chants throughout whenever he's
while
out
he's
there.
clubbing the seals. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or pounding babies or whatever. Something
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah. No matter what he does, he just doesn't get in trouble. So, what did you think of the run to the ring from, or not so much the run to the ring, but the attack by the New Day
Um
on Imperium? Did
I'm
you
I'm
did that give you any kind of feels, or were you just like, eh?
I to be honest, I thought it was something because the New Day to me has just been in limbo. Ever since Big E's injury a couple of years ago, they've just been there.
Yeah,
I thought it was
they
a step
haven't really
forward
they haven't done
to put him
anything to
into a
really
program,
stand out.
really.
And apparently
Um,
next week, possibly Kofi's going after Gunther.
would not surprise me.
Yeah, I don't see anything happening there. I see
I don't see anything happening
no,
either,
I
but
see him getting smashed. But what would
smashed.
yeah, the thing is so Judgment Day and those tag team titles.
Those tag team titles got split,
Yeah.
or they got to create new ones like they did all the other titles.
Oh, you're saying you want the Raw and SmackDown titles back?
Either they split them or they officially merge them like they did the
Oh, instead of
WWE.
carrying them around everywhere?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just one set of titles, not two.
Yeah, well, and Roman's kind of stopped carrying both titles around now. You notice
Well,
that?
yeah, because he's got his because they introduced the undisputed WWE Universal Championship
Well, for a while
when
there,
they.
he was carrying all of them.
Well, yeah, because he's the tribal
He
chief.
just wanted to carry a lot of bling on him.
It was kind of like what was it AEW what was it oh, what was it? I can't remember his name because he hasn't been on in forever because of
What was what?
injury. Yeah, so okay, the more recent one, Eddie Kingston,
Oh,
with
you're talking about
all the,
AEW.
yeah, yeah. I'm trying to make a reference here. You know how Eddie Kingston's getting all the belts recently.
He's got the 3 sets. He's got the one from
He's got the
the
new,
tournament one.
yeah, he's got the tournament one. He
Then he's got the Ring
has
of Honor thing, and then he's got the
the brand new one. He
right.
beat John Moxley for it.
You know, that's what I'm talking about is the tournament that he did.
Yeah,
That was the Moxley one. Anyway,
yeah.
yeah, what's that called again?
It's got the international title or whatever.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
supposed to be
remember.
a play. It's supposed to be a. I think it's supposed to be a play
Too
on
many
the
damn
cartoons.
titles, in my opinion. Just
There
settle
are
down.
too many. Well, I'm glad AEW allows. This goes to AEW, and we can discuss it when we get there. But to be honest, I'm glad AEW allows other companies championships on the show.
Yeah, as long
Other,
as they kind of highlight the other show a little bit better. It's like they kind of just gloss over it, you know. They don't really talk about, New Japan as much, at least directly when they're referring to the titles and things like that.
yeah, yeah. When the Open Door pay-per-view happens.
Well, that and Ring of Honor, they just kind of shit on it. I mean, especially when Samoa Joe threw the title in he's like,
The TV title in the trash, yeah.
I don't need this. It's just kind
Yeah,
of
I feel like, uh, and we can get it more into this later. Maybe not this episode, but sometime later. How my opinion of Ring of Honor now that Tony Khan owns it, it's turning into a bad version of NXT
well, I would say a
or
bad
AEW.
version. I don't know of NXT, but it's just I don't know.
This
It's
is a
almost
bad version of itself. It used to be
it
so
just
much better.
well, Ring of Honor used to have honor. Now it's just some like
There,
sideshow thing. It's I don't know. It's
or it's
like
like EC, or it's like the
WWE
reborn.
ECW.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
like why is this here? Why are we doing this? Yeah,
Why are you here?
yeah, yeah. No, I tend to agree. So you didn't really get a whole lot out of. I mean, it seemed like this match that went on between Imperium and the New Day was one little more brutal than usual, and it seemed
Yeah,
like the New
I
Day
did notice
kind of
that.
had an edge to them this time instead of just, they're kind of gotten away from the unicorn crap and the stupid horn and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, they've been away from that stupid horn ever since a while. It's been a
Yeah,
while
it's been
since
a
we got the
while.
stupid horn.
Yeah, but at the same time, it just their whole goofy style or their playful interaction, I guess I should say, it just seems like they've gotten a tougher edge on them lately, and I think Imperium has a lot to do with that, being as you know, uh, just tight that Imperium is. They're not like let's goof off, play around kind of stuff. They have their moments, but it's very limited, and I'm glad they do that way, that they keep it limited because I would rather them taken more seriously. So
So let's talk
let's talk
men's
about
Royal Rumble
okay.
because let's be honest, I'm looking here at the competitors that we know of. 2/3 of them are Raw. So
Yeah,
we have
yeah.
Cody Rhodes. We know CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, and whatever. Then we got Shinsuke Nakamura, Drew McIntyre, Gunther, Chad Gable, Otis, Akira
Otis is in
Tozawa.
there.
Otis is in there.
Otis could be a wild card.
Well,
Now, not to
no
win
one
it.
expected Otis to win Money in the Bank that one year.
No, and I don't think
No one did.
I think that
When
might have
they,
been a last minute decision too, though.
I think it was when they climbed the tower.
Yeah, when they were doing the top of the building thing during the
I
pandemic.
thought that was a cool gimmick thingy for that time when it was during COVID. I thought that was great, to be honest.
Well, I just think it was good that they were able to come up with a creative way to not have an audience.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
mean. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And then
To me,
Kofi
that was
Kingston, Damian Priest.
so.
That's all Raw.
If you were to take, all right, so we have Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Gunther, of like the major names of people that are kind of expected to win. You
I
know what
mean,
I mean?
I'm half hoping for Drew McIntyre, but at least be in the top 4 or 5.
something's going on with Drew that they're going to be doing here, and I'm not sure because he just signed a new contract. It's not like he's
Yeah,
on his way
yeah.
out.
He's not going anywhere,
Yeah,
which I'm
so
glad.
yeah, so whatever's going on with Drew, this is building to something, and so because he keeps losing, he's on a
I
make.
feel like this is another John Cena moment. You remember when John Cena kept losing after getting beat by the Rock at WrestleMania that one year?
Well, and he did the same thing when he was fighting with Nexus.
That is true. Yeah.
Remember, he had a long losing streak, and then he got into
I
this big old
loved
fight
that
with Nexus.
storyline so much.
It introduced a lot of people, that's for sure.
It did. It did.
And of course, if Ryback didn't screw it up, it probably would have turned out pretty good for him too. But he had to
It
run his mouth.
yeah, Ryback had to be that guy.
Yeah. Well, if he would have just not talked shit to Cena, to John Cena, live on air with everybody, it's like, dude, have those conversations in the back, dude, because you were having a major push and you just like cut your own nuts off, and now
It's
you
kind of
just
like the
bitch
same
about it.
thing with who was it? AEW is known as Daniel Bryanson, or
Daniel
no,
Bryan.
yeah, Daniel Bryan was in Nexus when they tore the stage up.
Right. And he got fired because he choked
Yeah,
a
yeah,
referee or an
they were
announcer
told
with his
not
tie.
to. Yeah, he wasn't supposed to do that. That was one of the only things he wasn't supposed to. They weren't supposed to choke someone out or destroy the cameras. So because they're multi-million-dollar cameras, which okay, and that's what he did. He choked. Who did he choke out? I can't
I
remember.
don't remember if it was an announcer. It was some
I
sort
think
of
it was one
person.
of the announcers. I know that because it was one of those people that was like very stuck up, had like tenure up the wazoo.
Yeah, it
Was
wouldn't have happened if
very
it was somebody else. That's the way I saw it. But
or I think it would have been different if it was Michael Cole.
if it was Michael Cole would have played ball.
Yeah, yeah, he would have played ball and
He
it
would
would have been
have he would
fine.
have said, "Let's turn this into another storyline where I get in a fight with Daniel Bryan." You
That
know,
would have been great.
mind
How
you, Michael
early?
Michael Cole does not enjoy getting in the ring, but at the same time, he does enjoy a good story. So that's there's that.
Yep.
Um,
So
so all right, if like I said, if you were to find somebody in the Royal Rumble match that was not of the three, and so your
my
thought
dark
is,
horse
yeah,
probably Damian Priest.
Damian Priest, is he in the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, yeah, he announced it 2 days
Oh,
ago
okay.
as of recording.
The only thing is if he was in the Royal Rumble to get a title match, it would be kind of a waste because of the fact that he's got the briefcase. And I would
Either
think
that or Chad Gable.
Chad
I
Gable, that would actually be
but
in
just how
Seth's
good
current
he's been
condition.
recently.
Well, in Seth's current condition, if he's really got a jacked up knee, the person that could get him through a match and make him look good, even though he's got a jacked up knee, would be Chad Gable.
It would be Chad Gable. He have you? Well, of course you've seen the Gunther Chad Gable matches.
Yeah.
Those are some great matches,
Well, that's a little bit of both of them, but Chad has the innate ability to make other people look good.
and it'd be great for Alpha Academy because
Yeah.
Tozawa is looking great with Maxine Dupree
Yeah, well,
with
and
some of his
I like the
matches.
dynamic of Otis and Tozawa together. I would like
I
to see
love it.
something happen with Tozawa just because, and I don't mean he's such a good comedy player. He's just if you think about it, he's a good utility player, just like R-Truth. They are
Oh
both
yeah, yeah.
great
If you see
in the yeah.
Our Truth and Judgment Day right now, it's hilarious.
Yeah, no, and it's I can't believe he cost. Now, see, Drew finally did get a win. That's right. You got to win
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah. He got one win
Yeah, you got to win over Damian Priest because of R-Truth. You
because
know.
of Our Truth.
Yeah. So, which
I
is funny
forgot
because
about that, but
for a
yeah.
minute you thought that R-Truth was going to cost Drew McIntyre the match because of the stupid shit he was doing, but it turns out he actually screwed Damian Priest over in the
Which
long run.
I feel like there's something gonna happen. between R-Truth and Judgment Day. I don't know what it is.
Well, it might end up ending in the dissolution of the Judgment Day.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
he might be the catalyst for the group just dissolving, which I think at this point it might be ready for that to happen.
I could see Civil War, but they already did that with the bloodline.
I don't know about Civil
Be like
War,
Finn
but
Balor and McDonough versus Dirty Dom and Priest.
I don't see Finn Balor and JD having a problem with each other.
No, I don't think so either. That's why I teamed them together.
Yeah, but I also just don't think that Dominic and Mommy, their dynamic, I think those two
Some
could go solo on just the two of them kind of, breaking from the group. And that will
Yeah, but
and then they can create a storyline that happens between the two of them. Eventually I would like to see Dominic start cheating on her or her start cheating on him.
oh, I could see it. But I'm like, I could also see Dominic costing Rhea Ripley her title.
That too. That could possibly be the dynamic there. But I see Damian Priest, he's got to stand alone.
Yeah, Damian Priest has built himself where he doesn't need the Judgment Day.
He never did really. He was
I mean, in
actually
the beginning, I thought he did.
he
In the
was the
beginning,
Judgment Day.
when Edge formed it,
Yeah,
I
then it
thought,
made
yeah,
sense.
it made sense
But at the
because he
same
was just
time,
starting
once
out.
Finn Balor and everybody else started getting, because it was when it was just like the three of them, when it was just Rhea Ripley, Damian, and Edge, that made sense. At the same time, it wasn't going to make sense for long. And Edge knew that. And that's why he did what he did. Because when he saw the introduction of Finn Balor coming in, he saw that the group was dynamic was changing. So he felt
Yeah,
he needed to get out, which was great because the way he got out, it turned out good because they created a
he,
feud and it lasted for a while. It was good
yeah,
TV. And
yeah. It was
then
great TV.
the introduction of Dominic. Now, this is the thing about the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day had definitely made Dominic believable. Because before him really getting involved with the Judgment Day and him turning on his father before would not have worked if it wasn't for the Judgment Day. Then
I think he would have gotten stuck in limbo
I think so too. At the same
or
time,
gone.
or gone, yeah. But the way Dominic's popularity has grown, and he's a good wrestler. He's a very good wrestler. He's a prodigy of his time with his age group and things like that. The thing is that people freaking hate his ass, and they hate him
Yeah,
because
because
he's so
he.
good at being a heel.
Mm-hmm.
And he would have never been believable as a heel if it wasn't for the stuff between him and his dad. The Judgment Day and them pulling him away from him, they wouldn't believe that he would turn on his dad like that unless it was for the Judgment Day and the introduction of some tail, which would happen to be Rhea was the catalyst that had to be. She helped make more sense of why this young impressionable boy that we've watched to grow up in WWE that loves his daddy, now mind you, utilizing the whole storyline of being a deadbeat dad and Eddie Guerrero being involved and all that. It made it easier to do. Now that Dominic is in that mode and they had him go to jail for a little bit and they kind of played with that, him being a tougher individual. I still hate his hairstyle. I probably will always hate his hairstyle,
I am not a big fan of it, but at the
but I
same
get
time,
why it's
there are
there.
funny memes out there that are like, the more hair he grows in that ugly mullet, the more evil he gets. So we must cut off the mullet.
Well, I think he needs more facial hair.
I don't think you
uh,
can grow, to be
It may
honest.
not, but the tattoos are helping. Like the more he's getting tatted up, he needs more physique, in my
Okay,
opinion.
so to finish off the Raw tying into the Royal Rumble this weekend, I forgot to to say the women announced entrants, it's about 6, but only there's 4 Raw participants.
Yeah, the
Like
main
that are announced.
storyline is revolving around Becky Lynch and Nia as far
Yeah.
as what's going on with the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
What
Becky
I
Lynch,
feel is
Nia
going to happen
Jax,
is she's going to
Maxine
get
Dupree, and Ivy Nile.
Maxine Dupree and Ivy Nile. So Ivy Nile is so small. She's strong as hell, but she's got to work on her personality.
Yeah, she really doesn't.
She's a wet blanket, dude. She's like,
She never did, even in NXT. No
no,
offense if
it's
any of
just
these
she
people
needs
listen.
something to she needs to make something personal, like legitimately, to where she shows some actual feeling of something. Right now,
Even if it's anger, I'm okay with that.
well, anger, whatever, just show some sort of actual real emotion as opposed to this kind of halfway fakey. It's acting, and
It's
she's
very acty like.
yeah,
I agree.
yeah. I don't know. I just don't buy into what she's selling. Even when
I'm not buying what she's selling.
no,
Neither the Diamond Mind either.
no. I mean, I like her dynamic with the Creed brothers back in
I
NXT, where it was kind of
I
like the brotherhood, sisterhoody kind of thing. But she never showed herself as a dominant force to actually be there. It was
to
almost
be
like she was the pet,
honest,
like she
yeah,
was the pet dog.
to be honest, I feel like it's more like the gym bros in the gym. You know, like the gym bros taking on someone
Yeah,
underneath them.
yeah, yeah.
It seemed like that even in NXT when Roderick Strong was still.
Do you think that Charlotte Flair will be a surprise entrant?
Do I want to say yes and get all my hopes and dreams crushed by my pick to win from all these announced people, or do I want to say no and hope?
The only thing I'm thinking is, so she jacked up her leg, right? So
Yeah, she jacked it up sky high. Yeah.
I just don't know what the time frame is on that. I mean, because sometimes they'll say that it's this amount of time, and it turns out it only took them a few months to kind of get over something. It's like
Well,
John
yeah,
Cena when he got, but they, you know how these guys are. Sometimes they push themselves beyond normal limits. I'm just curious.
I would not be surprised,
Mm.
but I hold on.
So
Trying
is
to.
Mia Yim in the women's?
No, she's not announced, but I could see her going in there though.
Well, I'm waiting for her. They keep bringing her on TV. They keep showing her up, and then they've been having her have decent matches, so to speak, as of late. Mind you, a lot of the times I watch her in the ring, I see her telegraphing too much. It's a little
I
like when she goes to do the cooperative stuff, it's like she'll reach back and you can see her do that, and then she does the move. Like,
Okay,
oh,
so to go to our because I looked it up. So Charlotte Flair on the December 8th of last year episode of SmackDown. Charlotte Flair suffered a torn ACL, MCL, and meniscus tear during her match against Asuka.
she
The
won't be
fo-
there.
nah,
No,
nah, she won't be there for
yeah,
approximately 9 months, which she's gonna miss WrestleMania anyway.
yeah, she's gonna. I mean, if she does anything at WrestleMania, it's gonna be an appearance.
Yeah,
What about Jade Cargill?
Jade Cargill. No, she's too new.
Too green still, you think?
I think she's too green. I think she needs a couple matches on TV first. Either NXT, Raw,
Yeah,
SmackDown,
but
even a dark match.
they might be doing a lot behind the scenes with her. Because I know they're doing a lot as far as training her to like how to actually
Yeah, because
wrestle.
she didn't.
Uh,
She doesn't know how to. She didn't know how to wrestle and
Yeah,
or not good enough.
yeah, well, and I'm wondering if they're saving her for something like this, you know, trying to make her that
Yeah,
big.
they sort of did the same thing with Ronda Rousey though, in WrestleMania when she teamed up with Kurt Angle.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But I just thinking about that as a possibility of her just popping up.
I mean, I could see it. To be honest, I could see it, but I don't think. I think it'd be one of the smaller pay-per-views. I don't think it'd be the Royal Rumble.
I'm actually waiting for the day that like Jordan Grace comes to WWE. or something like that. Jordan Grace from TNA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always seeing different wrestlers on other shows. That was like, oh, why are you guys still over here? To me, Jordan Grace would be awesome in WWE.
I think I so we know so to speculate past Royal Rumble, I think it's Elimination Chamber after the Royal Rumble.
Are they doing Elimination Chamber?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. I know they're doing Backlash in France next year.
I just know that they're trying to cut some of the
Well, yeah, because it's going to be in Perth.
Okay.
It's going to be in Australia this year. Elimination Chamber is going to be in Australia.
What do you think about Bailey? Think she'll pull off her thing, or do you think she's going to fail and that's going to be the catalyst that pushes the storyline of the her getting kicked out of her group?
Do you think it'd be another Edge situation or no? I don't think it would.
What do you mean?
You remember when Edge got kicked out
of the Judgment Day?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know how they would go about it, or they would just be like, you failed again. But at the same time, they've also been pushing the Viking Raider dude.
Yeah, they have been who is it? Is it Ivar? I think it's Ivar. But that's SmackDown guy. No, I guess
he's
it is Raw.
Yeah.
Because the other guy's always been hurt, seems like every other month.
Well, he's been hurt for a while now, but yeah, it just seems like Ivar is being lifted. I don't know if he's really getting elevated so much, but everybody he's wrestled lately, he's been smashing them pretty hard.
I do want to talk a little bit about NXT.
He had a decent match against Chad Gable this week.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty good match. Not something that I would call program worthy, but it was
no, it was just a good match. I mean, that's all.
It was a good match.
So NXT, huh?
So we all know Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic is back.
Yeah.
Or it's been back. I love the Baron Corbin Braun Breaker tag team.
Yes. I'm full on with that. Yeah.
Love it.
You're not going to get any argument from me on that one, that's for sure, because I was full on with that myself. Yeah.
Two heels going, like, actually working together in the funniest way possible.
Well, just, dude, anything Braun Breaker does right now is
gold.
Yeah. He's just a beast. Frankly, and then he also gets mentioned quite a bit. And, I don't know why they haven't pulled the trigger.
I've been paying attention more to NXT because of the connection that they have.
And that might be why Breaker's still there. Because they're kind of playing with moving Carmelo over to the main brand, but
well, yeah, because he deserves it. Well, so does Braun Breaker, but I feel Braun Breaker is more of a staple.
I think the reason they're moving Carmelo
and
focusing on that is so that so Trick can get more notoriety away from Carmelo. Create a separation so that his star will rise.
Book that Trick. Book that Trick. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, you see what I'm saying though? Is create a separation between Carmelo and Trick.
I love his entrance. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, and it's catchy, but at the same time, if you still had Carmelo involved, it's it was kind of
we never did. Did we ever find out who took out Trick Williams?
No, that hasn't really come to light, so to speak.
I feel like it's Carmelo.
Well, and that's why we had the little sly looks and things like that, and the innuendo that's been popping up as far as actually pointing the finger. Right now, him and Carmelo are actually after the Dusty Rhodes Classic, so they're doing that match. And then every time that Ilya Dragunov has been mentioning giving him his shot on the title, to Trick, Carmelo always is like, that's the same day we're doing the Dusty Classic. And then when he mentions that he's going to just do both basically on the same day, Carmelo's acts so like irritated by it, in a sense. He doesn't like straight up say so, but and then it's just I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, so I'm looking at the classic bracket here. I forgot Gallus was still a thing.
yeah. The Gallows boys are always a thing. If
Well, I
they're
know
still
they're a thing, but I haven't seen or heard from them in months.
they've been on
Ever
NXT every
since they
week.
dropped the title, the tag team titles.
Well, they've been showing up on each week. I mean, they haven't done a whole lot, but they've been you've at least seen them.
Yeah. A lot of these, like the Latino World Order, Chase U. I'm surprised the Latino World Order's in this bracket, but I'm not surprised at the same time.
What's your opinion, Alexis King?
Lexus King.
I mean, other than his name's ridiculous.
Yeah, his name is ridiculous. I read up why he couldn't be Brian Pillman Jr. because I guess there's legal issues.
Whatever. That makes sense.
There's some legal issues, which I'm like, okay, fine, whatever.
Well,
Because I guess Brian Pillman Jr. wanted to keep being Brian Pillman Jr. and just renounce his father or whatever.
well, I don't know. But so what do you think of the new upstart wrestling the tag team? The ones that keep going after oh my goodness. Our Mafia boys.
OTM.
Yes.
I'm on the fence.
On the
I
fence. I mean, to
I'm
me so far they just skill wise they don't really have they're green in the ring like to me.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
They do okay when they have a microphone and they can talk some smack, but when you get in the ring, they just don't seem to
They
really.
don't mesh.
They don't seal the deal. It's almost like AOP, you know. Authors of Pain, they're
Did
not
you
impressive in the
see?
ring.
Speaking of Authors of Pain, and I think, did you see they're back?
They're back.
They're back in
Well, I'm aware
WWE.
they're back. Yeah, of course. Um, they're
I think
doing it.
that's SmackDown.
Yeah, they're in it.
They're a
They're now
thing
part of a
with
group. Yeah,
yeah. They're a thing with God, why can't I think his name?
because my brain stopped working, so yours has to stop. That way we can look like complete morons.
Oh, what is his name? Because I was just looking up. I was looking
Carrying
something up.
Cross.
Yeah, Cross. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking the cross jacket for some reason. I'm like that's his main that was his main move. What is his name now?
But anyway,
You're supposed to have two managers in that group. I'm like, how are you gonna do anything?
well, his wife's just gonna look pretty and
Be
smile and move
cool.
around. Yeah, so she's just gonna be there. Now, as far as if she does anything down the future, she is a wild card because she's somebody that if you pull the trigger on, she can, But they got to give. God, what's the old guy's name now? He used to manage the Road Warriors. Paul
I don't know.
Ellering. Paul Ellering.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was like, God, what's his name? That's my problem is his names.
names are awful for us right now.
Well, it's just I got too much in my brain, man. So what do you think of the new North American champion?
Oba, Oba Femi.
Yes.
I feel
That
like he's
dude.
a better. I think he's a better version of what's his name?
I don't
He
know. I think he's
I
just I think he came on fast. I think he's what it is I
I
think
think
they
he
knew
came
he
on
had
too fast.
well, I think that I know I don't I think they pulled the trigger on him because of how good he is. Because
He's
if you
6'4",
listen to him on the microphone,
273 pounds.
yeah, if you listen to him on the microphone, he's already got the ability to actually cut a promo.
Yeah.
And at the same time, his in-ring skills, they're not like incredible, like over the top, but his mic skills overshadow his lack of ability in the ring. And his abilities in the ring are only going to grow. And he is decent in the ring. So it's enough that he's a big ass dude.
I remember his name. Sorry to cut you off. I think he's a better version of Omos.
Omos is just, to me, Omos is just a human tree.
You know, how did you feel of them tag teaming?
I think it'd be a waste of Obafemi. I think
because Omos can't speak or crap. That's why they had
Well, that's just it. Keep him with his handler. He's better as that attraction handler. I can smash you. Maybe one day he can, like, the thing is I don't know if he'll ever be able to move in the ring like a Lesnar. I don't know if he'll ever be able to move in the ring like that. Some people just don't have that level of athleticism. I don't see him jumping over the top rope and, doing like Roman and oh my God. We were just talking about him 2 minutes ago.
Obafemi, Omos.
No.
Dragon Lee.
Stop it. McIntyre.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, McIntyre, he can fly it over the top rope with no problems, and he's a big dude. I don't see Omos being able to do that without hurting people. You know what I mean? I just, can he get that level of speed up in that short distance? I just think he would be too much like the big guy on the rap group.
I don't.
Man, I really hate my memory.
I hate mine too, but
let's take a break real quick.
Yeah,
let's take a break real quick because we're already kind of overrun.
Ever wanted to be a content creator but had no clue where to begin? Come join me as I sit down with content creators that have already faced the challenges you're up against, as they discuss the tips and tricks that help them be successful. Here on The Content Creator's Guide, available wherever podcasts can be found.
All right, everybody, we're back. I hope you enjoyed the little commercial there. By the way, the person I was thinking of was Top Dollar. I don't know why. I just think my brain's fried, guys. Anyway, so NXT, it was a decent enough show on NXT. I don't know if I can say any one thing really stood out to me that was really massive. Except maybe the possibility of seeing William Regal.
Yeah, we did see William Regal step out with Ava.
Yeah, that was
revealing that Ava is the new general manager of NXT, which I don't know how long that's gonna last.
Well, she's been kind of playing with that the past couple of episodes where she's the one that comes out and announces to people what's going on, and
ever since she left ever since the schism basically demolished itself.
Right, and then you also see that the ex-member of the schism is kind of popping up everywhere.
He's turning into a creepier version of what is it? Oh, what is the guy that doesn't speak except for the one time when he fake married that one chick?
Oh, Loomis.
Yeah, it's a creepier version of him.
Yeah,
but he can talk.
Well, yeah, he's got some. Actually, his mic skills are probably his mainstay. And then, so just to finish up NXT real quick, what did you think of the contract signing between Rosa Perez and Valkyria? Do you remember anything about that? Because the only thing that really notable that I can remember that happened was the girl coming up from underneath the table that's all obsessed with Valkyria.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the stalker of Valkyria.
It just reminds me of Mickie James and Trish Stratus.
Yes, it does.
Like in a lot of ways.
That angle.
Yeah. Anyway,
I
so
like that Roxanne Perez or whatever she's calling herself nowadays. How she's a heel now, and I like it. She deserves
really,
to
do
be.
you really? I don't know if you call
It
her a
reminds
heel.
me of Bailey when she first started off as a heel.
Bailey's turn was dynamic, like cutting up her
Yes,
little
it was. It
her
was
her
very
little
dramatic.
her little buddies, and she walked up and she sliced them up and
Be
stuff.
like, "You're dead now. You're dead to me."
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. Yeah,
But I think a heel turn for Roxanne Perez it would be good for her. Is good for her right now
it'll show a
because
more aggressive side of her for sure.
yes, exactly. That's where I'm trying to get at. Yeah, because we all know Roxanne Perez as the youngest women's champion, the NXT champion. Why?
Is she the
But
youngest? I didn't know that
she
actually.
is the youngest.
Hmm.
Let me make sure before I actually, I'm pretty sure she's the youngest.
That's interesting. I didn't know that was a dynamic. So, what did you say you wanted to talk about next?
Vengeance Day.
Vengeance Day.
Vengeance Day comes not that far after Royal Rumble. It's the next pay-per-view technically on the docket.
Okay.
Vengeance Day has a couple of hold on, let me get back to it. A lot of it's already planned out. A lot of the cards still there. Like we don't know who Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin are going to face in the finals of Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. We know Roxanne Perez is going to face Lyria Valkyrie, or however she says her name.
Valkyria.
Yeah, Valkyria, for the women's title. Then we got Oba. I just call him Oba because
Obafemi.
Oba Femi rematching against Dragon Lee. And then we're finally going to get Ilya Dragunov versus Trick Williams.
Yeah, that's that to me. That's like one of the big deals. Is to and so the two biggest things to me personally, or well, maybe three is
And we could talk about this more when it gets closer, but yeah.
yeah, but I think Ilya Dragunov and Trick Williams is going to be a great match.
I think it's
And
going to be a killer, stellar match.
I wonder if Carmelo is going to play a role in Trick not winning it.
I would not be surprised.
And it
I
would
would
kind
not
of
be surprised.
piss me
And
off.
then they come back to who beat Trick Williams.
Right. Right. And
Bring
then
that to a head.
the Obafemi Dragon Lee match, I have a feeling it might just be a quick squash. I just have a feeling that
Because
Dragon
I
Lee's
think they're
going
going
to
to move
take an ass
Dragon Lee
whooping.
up with the LWL.
Yeah, that's a possibility. They might move him up there because they did have been kind of showing him up there on SmackDown and stuff. So,
With Carlito and all those guys.
yeah. And then right
Carlito's
now,
become the face of the LWO ever since Rey Mysterio somehow mysteriously disappeared.
well, I also have a feeling that it's going to come down to Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin against Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. And that might be where the turn happens.
Yeah, I could. Yeah,
You know what I mean? I just have this odd feeling.
I have this. I have the same gut feeling as you, but I'm like, dude, I'm kind of hoping that the LWO gets it just to further dynamic that. So it could happen
The
during the
reason I don't
Ilya
want the
Dragunov match.
LWO to get it is because that'll pull them over to NXT and kind of start. That's a step backwards for those guys. You know,
Well, I don't feel like it because you remember when
yeah, but they're not a
New
big
Day
enough name to do that with. I don't think.
New Day was held the tag. They were like the what's the word for it? They were champions, but they weren't like they didn't have a long title reign with it.
No, they were just kind of like belt holders for a little bit, but at the same time, I don't think you want to do that with the LWO. I think what you want to do is you want to
I
have them
think
go
you
ahead and
want to
lose
do an
this.
LWL Braun Breaker, Baron Corbin, then have Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin win it. To basically squash them and then have the Opa Femi and Dragon Lee match actually mean something.
Maybe it all depends on how they depends on. Oops, it depends on how they put it in there. You know what I mean? Like what how they do the lineup for the show itself. You know what I mean? If they, because I would say that the end of the show is going to be Ilya Dragunov and Trick Williams.
Yeah, no, I think that'll be the main event.
And then
I
I
fully
think-
intend it to be also.
Yeah, I think they're going to start things off with probably Obafemi and Dragon Lee, if not the finish up the classic.
I think. Oh, I almost forgot. We got the family versus OTM.
Right, but the family versus OTM, that's going to be a mid-level match. So
I
they're
think
gonna throw
they'll be
that
in the
under
middle
this one.
somewhere.
That's
Okay.
the go get a drink match.
The go to the bathroom.
Yes. You know,
maybe root for
not
something
because
and-
of Tony D'Angelo or Stacks. It's
I
just
think those guys are great. Those guys have been great.
I just think it's
They
because of OTM and them are
defeated
they're just kind of placeholders. Kind of that match is there so that you get to see Tony D'Angelo and Stacks on Vengeance, and then because once the Dusty Rhodes Classic ends, then somebody's going for D'Angelo and their titles.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot they
Yeah, they're the
have
ones holding the
titles.
titles right now. So that's why
That's
they.
right.
So
Because
it's
I
more or
remember
less
at
just
one
so you
point it
can
was
see
Chase
the
U.
champions on the show. So that, I see that match happening, say maybe second or third in the show. And then I see the women's championship match happening earlier in the show.
I think where it is, so right now, according to wikipedia.org, the matches how they have the card is the finals, women's championship, the North American championship, NXT championship, and then the mixed tag team championship, which I'm like, just switch the two and it'll be fine. Just switch the Ilya Dragunov match with the other one and you'll be fine.
Yeah, to me, it would be a better show if they started things off hot. And I would think if they were to do that, I would do the women's championship as the first thing that comes through the door.
But
then,
like I said, we could discuss this later when it because this isn't for another couple weeks.
That's February 4th. I mean, that's not too far away. But
I think that's 2 weeks from now, from when we're recording this.
Well, and we'll probably revisit this 2 times.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
I love
as more
NXT.
matches come, because I have a feeling this isn't. I feel like there's going to be 1 or 2 more matches.
So let's go ahead and discuss AEW.
Well, we got to discuss SmackDown first. We haven't discussed the 4-way tag.
You're right. We didn't talk about SmackDown at all, did we?
We didn't talk about SmackDown, man. My most favorite thing right now. Where we could talk about Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens. I think that match is going to be a joke.
Really?
Well, okay, let me rephrase it. I think it's going to be a good match, but I'm just like, Logan Paul as a champion. At first, I'm like, no, they wouldn't do that.
I'm actually been kind of impressed by him.
I've seen how he's portrayed himself outside, I think that's what WWE needs. Because you don't see Roman Reigns out there as much. You don't see any of these other champions out there. I mean, yes, you see Roman Reigns because he's like the face that runs the place.
Oh my goodness. I think that's kind of been played out now. I mean, I think AJ Styles is the one that kind of really made a big deal about that. The face that runs the place, which actually before that it was John Cena.
It was John Cena. I'm not.
Yeah. But AJ made a big deal of stealing it from him.
Face that runs the place. It's very catchy. I'm sorry, it is. It's very catchy.
Yeah.
So yeah. I see Roman Reigns carrying his title through past WrestleMania. And I think this match is. I don't think it's going to be a squash match, but because there's good storytelling going into this thing.
What do you think of the return of Pete Dunne? I'm excited.
Happy.
I'm really excited
because I'm like Butch when they first
I
changed his
hated
name
that
to
as soon
Butch.
as I heard
I'm like, bro.
Really? I mean, why not just put
No.
chains on Pete Dunne's legs and just make him walk in circles? It's like,
Just pour his feet in concrete. Do it the mob way.
well, it's just I think they didn't know what to do with him personality wise, so they wanted to gimmick him up to
Well,
give
I
him.
thought the bruiserweight was a good gimmick, though. It was a great gimmick. I don't know
think
why
that's
they had
just
to
Pete
change
Dunne.
it. Kind of like Gunther, but Gunther's grown into Gunther.
Well, the thing is, I just think Pete Dunne is Pete Dunne. Like the bruiserweight thing is just his personality. He's
I
kind of
liked the bruiserweight when he was in NXT UK.
yeah.
That was perfect for NXT UK, doing the bruiserweight stuff, because that's how it is in Europe. I think. I hope
What
so.
do you think of Pretty Deadly? I know they're kind of a goofy tag team, but at the same time,
No,
I think they're good actors. I think they're entertaining.
I think they're going to be the next fashion police people.
Oh, you think they're in the same lens as that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
No offense to them two guys. When they were in NXT, they were good, but I just think they're going to be it when they're on the main roster. I just have that sneaking suspicion that they're going to be the next fashion police type of relief.
right. New Fandango.
Fandango.
No, it's Fandango.
Fandango.
I mean, to me, they're the new comic relief, in a lot of ways.
Yes. When we cut after the 24/7 championship got disbanded, which I'm glad it did, but at the same time, I'm like, you had some perfect stuff you could do with that thing.
What do you think of the animosity between LA Knight and AJ Styles?
I did not see it
kind of
coming.
like fake and created.
I did not see it coming. When AJ Styles came out after when the bloodline came out. But at the same time, if you notice between LA Knight and AJ Styles, when LA Knight came out to save Randy Orton, that he got a bigger pop than he did AJ Styles did.
Oh, he's going to. Right now, LA Knight is the shit.
LA Knight,
yeah,
is the biggest thing in wrestling right now in WWE.
Dude, totally. I think he's actually the biggest thing in wrestling right now. Like,
Roman Reigns may have the title, but he doesn't have, and he may have some of the fans, but 2/3 of the fans.
Honestly, I don't think anybody can hold LA Knight's jock right now. I think there's so much riding behind LA Knight, and I think that if they are to get LA Knight and Roman in a match together, it will solidify.
I mean, LA Knight did have a match with Roman, though.
Yeah, but they shit on it, and they. I
mean, yeah, they did shit on it, but I don't think they would do it for a third time.
The second time.
Oh, you're talking about alone? Yeah.
Yeah, like legit. Like, just what they need to do is just have LA Knight and him alone in a match. But at the same time,
what would you do? What pay-per-view? Because he's not going to be in Elimination Chamber.
It doesn't have to be like something like that. Now, perfectly honest with you, I think he should win the 3-way.
Oh, I believe so. The 4-way?
Yeah. Sorry, 4-way. Yeah, there is 4 people.
I agree.
I think that should be a way to launch LA Knight.
But at the same time, I think LA Knight should be the one to dethrone Logan Paul, not Kevin Owens. I feel, to be honest, Kevin Owens and LA Knight.
I don't think they got the time to waste on. I don't think they really got the time to waste on LA Knight. He's not getting any younger. And mind you, he is in incredible shape, but he's only got so many years in this game. And
I'm not.
If they're going to make that money, if they're going to make that money off him and do it using big matches, they need to pull a trigger on his ass, and soon. Don't sit on your thumbs. He's built to a peak right now. If they wait too long, he might fizzle. He's not likely to, but he might fizzle out. If you don't do something.
That's what a lot of those other more popular people are saying. You got to do something You can't just sit on LA Knight.
No, you
That's
got
that's
to.
why I'm saying you switch Kevin Owens because it's Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship.
I don't think it's a big enough match. I don't think
Well,
it is. I
I don't
think
think he's ever going to win against Roman Reigns though.
I
In this
do.
4-way.
I do.
I want to believe, but all my heart and guts are saying no. Roman Reigns is going to somehow continue that reign, and Cody Rhodes is going to dethrone him.
And that's a possibility as well. Yeah. I just want LA Knight to have it. I think. I guess it's my.
Let's just say this. I agree. LA Knight should have a title run should have a undisputed.
But I also
WWE
believe Cody should
Universal.
finish his story.
Or what about Seth Rollins? LA Knight versus Seth Rollins. Yes, that's cross brand, and LA Knight would have to go to Raw.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the only way that honestly, I still think Cody should end up taking it from Seth, but that's just my opinion.
No, to be honest, I think Gunther should take it from Seth, but that Gunther or CM Punk should.
Honestly, CM Punk should not get that opportunity until next year. I think CM Punk should be disappointed somehow, and that create some sort of animosity because you got to put some sort of like a hair in the ass of CM Punk to get him actually moving. Right now, he's kind of treading water, and
he's
not
just
that
there.
Yeah, and if you really want him to be there in a big way, you got to piss him off some. He's got to have that fire in him. Right now, he's just kind of like he gets tough with people, but it's not the same as like when he like loses his shit on someone. You know, it's not the same thing. I don't know, but
Yeah. Hold on.
my heart's set on yeah. I just think that LA Knight needs to get that push. And then Jay needs to come out of that shadow that he's still floating in and start. And actually, I think Jay and Gunther would be a good match, but
Yeet.
Yeah.
The Yeet. Have you looked at Jimmy's shirt recently?
Jimmy?
It says, yeah, Jimmy's shirt. I think it was this last week or the week prior. It was like Yeet with an X through it, and then it said no.
Oh,
it was dumb, but it was funny at the same time.
That's probably why I didn't care or pay attention.
It was dumb, but really funny. But to me, LA Knight, I think he should be a United States champion.
You know, I think Kevin Owens is going to have a really, really good match with him. The more I think
Okay, fine. Let Kevin Owens dethrone Logan Paul. But then do Kevin Owens
don't know if that's
LA
the
Knight.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm actually thinking maybe keep the belt on Logan Paul. Don't have him lose. Have him win.
Against Kevin Owens, though?
Yeah.
Against KO? I
think about what that would do for Logan Paul as far as giving him more legitimacy as a actual pro wrestler. He's signed with WWE, so he is trying to be a legit pro wrestler.
Yeah, he did defeat Rey Mysterio for the title.
Right. And so to prove that that's not just some fluke BS, he's got to have another big match and win it.
Oh.
But at the same time, he needs to be able to get into regular matches. He needs more ring time, more TV. He needs to be on TV more. A little bit more TV actual matches. Not enough to like get him into too much trouble, but like enough to, have him do a couple shows where he's not on TV. Have him do a couple of those, just so he can get some ring time. I think the more ring time he gets, the better he gets. So
I don't like this. So I'm looking up Logan Paul. ESPN ranked him number 10 of 30 best pro wrestlers under the age of 30 in 2023.
You just don't like him being ranked that soon. or at all.
I have nothing against Logan Paul. I think he is a great wrestler. He's picked it up very fast, but I feel like they're strapping the rocket on him too soon.
You might be right in that regard, but he does handle it well.
I mean, yes, because he is in the spotlight all the time. He has to.
What do you think of the RKO at the end of Roman?
I'm like it's about time.
Yeah, somebody needs to put him in his place. I would actually be happy if Roman Reigns or if Randy Orton was to pick up the title.
Okay, so
But at the same time,
let's
that's a heavy speculation.
yeah,
That would piss off a
let's
lot of people.
So for the Royal Rumble, there's only one announced in the men from SmackDown. That's the Almighty Bobby Lashley.
No,
No.
no.
And then for the women, the two that have announced from SmackDown, Bianca Belair and Bayley.
Bianca, possibly Bailey. No, because
Bianca won last year. If we're going to go the same, I think she won last year.
Yeah, well, you can't look at it that way. If you do,
Oh,
then
2021. That's my bad. She won 2 years ago.
yeah.
So yeah, she could win again.
She could win again. And then with Bailey, I just think that she needs to lose so that she can break free from that group.
Mm-hmm.
And that group can shine on its own with Io Shirai as its new leader. Possibly maybe Bailey and oh my goodness, I can't remember her name right now. The one that's been hurt for months and months and months.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I can't remember her name right now, but the one that took Tegan Knox out.
The War Games match.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, thanks, but that's not the name of the person. I'm trying to
Trying to think. It's not Kyrie Sane. She wasn't in that match.
No.
Oh, that's Mystico. I can't remember. It's been so long ago. It was one of the first War Games matches.
Dakota Kai. Gee whiz.
Yeah, God. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. That makes sense.
I would say Bailey and Dakota Kai possibly staying together outside of that. But at the same time, Dakota Kai needs to kind of, I don't know,
spread her wings and fly away.
Well, it's either shit or get off the pot.
She's not doing anything.
She's been hiding in the background all this time. Now, mind you, it's because she's been injured and they managed to they keep her on TV for a reason.
Well, I don't know why they can't do that with Big E, though.
Big E may not want to.
I think the New Day is better with. I'm sorry, but New Day is better with Big E.
Well, Big E is the life of that group, really. I mean,
that's what I'm. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, let's move on.
Yeah.
Clock is a ticking, chicken.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so AEW.
AEW. So let's begin there. Dynamite, all these shows go together.
To me, it's all just AEW.
It's just AEW to me. It's not Dynamite, Collision.
Well, because I don't catch almost any of them. I only am able to catch highlights most of the time anyway. So
it even to a person like me who tries to make the effort of watching it, it all goes together to me. There's nothing separating them. It's when they're trying to,
don't get me wrong.
Shows.
If I had, so if I was able to pay for all of these things and I was rich and I could buy all these different ways of watching this wrestling, I'm more interested in TNA as of late. Seeing
you seen those new belts that they got?
Yes, they got really nice, pretty belts, but the most
Those
important thing
belts
that
look
I noticed
nice.
about Impact Wrestling was the arrival of Dolph Ziggler, aka
Yeah,
Nick Namath. And
yeah,
I
I
thought
saw that. I'm
that
like,
was actually pretty
okay.
interesting to have that happen. Of course, I don't know that guy that came out to talk to him.
I don't know that guy's name either.
Well, he's an ex TNA champion. There's a lot of TNA I have not
There's a
watched in
lot
a
of
really long
stuff
time.
in TNA and all that
But
that I'm
TNA
like,
right now is kind of growing on me, and it's almost like I want to go back to watching it. I mean, they recently had Will Ospreay and Alexander. I can't remember his name, but he wears the headgear, the wrestling headgear. He's a strong boy.
yeah,
Yeah, but they had a decent match. I happened to catch that on a highlight, and I thought that was really interesting. So we might start talking a little bit more about TNA going forward here and there, at least highlighting something, and if they really get into the mainstream, might become a regular on this show.
yeah, my
Yeah.
if they get up there.
And
So
if AEW is
Dynamite's on
on the
tonight.
path they're on, we might forget all about them. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're getting kind of ridiculous. Anyway, yeah. And then
So
did you see Jungle Boy tear up his contract on New Japan?
no, I don't. I haven't been able to watch New Japan.
So apparently, I only saw a highlight of it, but so Jack Perry shows up in New Japan, takes this guy out, beats shit out of him. He's got a beard now with his, he grew a beard. He's kind of scrunchy looking, and then he's dressing more contemporary. And then yeah, grabbed his AEW contract and tore it up on air, which, you know, a lot of people are joking about it because obviously it's work. And because if it wasn't a work, who has a contract with a big old huge AEW logo right on the top of the header? It's like, no, that's not what your contract's going to look like. It's going to be pretty plain Jane. It's contract.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I'm looking at the highlight right now of his return.
of Jack Perry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I didn't see it, and I'm like, he comes out of the crowd. It's really dumb how he does it.
Well,
It reminds me a lot of like someone random. I know that's supposed to be the angle that they're going for, and that's what I'm picturing, but I don't like it. I was never a Jungle Boy Jack Perry fan anyway.
nope. No, I definitely am not. I
No,
thought that whole thing was a stupid, like, I still don't understand Luchasaurus, to be honest with you.
Luchasaurus.
Take the stupid ass mask off, dude. You're not a fucking
I
dinosaur.
I feel like when he does take the mask off, it's going to be like you remember when Kane took off his mask the first time.
Yeah, everybody went, oh,
I
that's
mean,
not okay.
I feel like it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be like oh
Yeah, well, just take the mask off and be better at your job. That's the
yeah,
reality of it. You know why you put the mask on him? Because he had zero personality without it.
he was
He didn't stand out.
nah.
Yeah, he was just blah. So you need to learn to not be blah without a mask on so that people will pay more attention to you. He's good in the ring, like, as a big man. He just needed a gimmick that he doesn't hide behind a mask to achieve. It's just,
Or hide behind Christian Cage.
yeah, stop being people's heavy. I think he's afraid to be himself.
It's kind of like
Or
Wardlow.
himself, either that or himself is that damn boring.
It's kind of like Wardlow, but I like where Wardlow is right now.
Being
With
in
the
the
Adam
group.
Page. With Adam Page.
Yeah, Wardlow would have been more impressive if they would have stopped, like, stop starting with
Yeah,
it.
because I've learned. I feel I've read and everything that AEW doesn't know how to. This has become my opinion also. AEW does not know how to book their big men, not one bit.
They
And
don't know how
that
to
and
book at all.
I
But
mean,
then,
some of these matches are pretty good, but I'm just like they don't know how to book. Specifically, they don't know how to book their women's division, which that's a totally separate issue, and that's a different soapbox I will die on. and they don't know how to book their big men or how to portray them. They're always ending up in the background, or they hold on to a title for like up to the next pay-per-view, or like in a big show special, and then they just lose it, and then they go into obscurity.
Yeah, I don't know.
They go into purgatory, as I like to say. But like Miro, he could be a great champion. He could be something, and he's nothing.
No,
Or
because
Wardlow.
well, it's because they're letting him do too much of his own, like what he thinks is a good idea, and he's not good at doing that.
No,
No,
and I
he
don't
needs
like.
to be
I don't like.
produced.
I don't like what they're doing with Miro anyway. Whenever
No, he
they're
needs to be
doing,
produced. Somebody needs to give him a story to follow. You know,
I
for
don't like.
a very
You
short
know,
little
like,
window there when he was doing that whole religious element thing, he was starting to touch on something, but he didn't really know where to go with it.
yeah, that's when you have like a story writer like WWE does, and let him run with it.
Yeah,
Because that's what gives you the money.
yeah, give him some structure and then allow him to bullet point his way through. But yeah,
Going back,
guys
Jack
like
Perry.
Christian can do that. Christian can create something from nothing. He's done it multiple times.
Well,
That's somebody
yeah,
that's
you can
been,
see it with Edge. Well, Adam Copeland now, but with
yeah,
Edge and Christian, with a lot in WWE, you saw that a lot back in the day.
yeah. But Christian is kind of like a savant, dude. When it comes to wrestling, he just knows how to put shit together. If he's actually should be in the writers' room,
Yeah,
doing a lot of
yeah,
the
no, I
stuff for the.
agree.
I mean, not that he's not great in the ring on his own, but like he should be, writing stuff for these other people and creating these dynamics because he knows how to put a match together. He's been doing it for years. Like a lot of the veterans listen to Christian more than they do other people. Like he's the guy directing traffic in the ring because he really knows what the people want. He's just got that ability. I don't know. And then the kid that he's working with right now, he could do so much with him. What's
So
the
the
kid's
kid,
name?
I don't. Well, they're calling him the Prodigy, which I'm like, that. Don't do that. That's Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez's
Well,
thing, or at least it
AEW is going to
was.
always kind of steal shit and use it on purpose, which is
That
kind of
should
dumb.
always, because I liked it when she was the Prodigy, when she held the title, because she was the youngest. I did end up looking it up. She was youngest by like 3 years, I think, if I was looking at it correctly.
Yeah, I don't know. I keep looking at stuff going on. One, I think Beretta should be by himself. Get out of this best friends bullshit. And like Orange Cassidy's gimmick has gotten old. The whole,
Yeah,
it just,
I don't know how I feel about Orange Cassidy as a whole, though. That's the problem.
well, I've never been real. I mean, dude, when he goes, he can go.
Yeah,
When he does, I mean, dude, him and Roderick Strong had an awesome match at one point. But and then so what do you think of Page, dude? To me, it's he is
let's talk about Paige.
he just keeps changing. Like every time you turn around, he's morphing into another person. Like he's trying to figure out who he really is.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think he needs to be introduced to the Cowboy James Storm, and those two need to like hang out for a while. I think that would help him figure out who he really is. Because Cowboy would be like, dude, don't do that. Why? Because you look stupid. And then they're missing the boat with Briscoe. Like they should be pushing him to the moon. They're like elevating the wrong people and pushing down the people that should be there. Like Briscoe, they should be utilizing Briscoe while he's still got time. You know what I mean? Push Briscoe to the moon, and then another person that they should be pushing instead of having them lose matches all the time is Jay Lethal. Jay
Yeah,
Lethal's
yeah.
got
Jay
all the
Lethal
skills in the world, and they
is
just
great,
they
and
use
they're
him like
like,
shit.
nah. I agree.
I mean, Switchblade and the Bullet Club Gold is dumb. Just lame. It's boring. Like it just doesn't excite unless Juice Robinson's there. If Juice is there, then shit's interesting. But Switchblade is boring as shit. Decent in the ring, but on the microphone, I just don't want to hear him. Am I losing you?
No, I'm trying to figure out because I thought Roxanne Perez was the youngest champion, but
You're
it's
still stuck on that.
I'm still stuck on this. I'm not gonna stop until I figure this out.
That's funny.
It says Pages by like because Paige won
Paige got the title like
One-
her first night on the show.
yeah, she got yeah.
Yeah, Paige walked to the ring and beat AJ Lee right then and there. Boom, done.
Well, it was the Divas title back then.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's still youngest title holder. She's
Yeah, she
so
did it at
Roxanne Perez is
20
probably
years.
now Roxanne Perez is probably the youngest NXT champion of all time.
Yeah.
What do you think of the match between Hook and
I thought it was a good
Mojo?
match. The small.
I thought it showed a lot
watched
about Hook's
I watched it and I'm like, there's something there.
Well, I mean, Hook's got a lot of, and then seeing Strickland out, he is looking gnarly, dude. He looks scary. Strickland looks scary.
Strickland, man, I'm glad he got away from all WWE and the
I don't
group
know
that
about
he was in.
WWE. All what?
No, I
away
think
from that, but getting
yeah.
away from top dollar in that group, he didn't. Yeah,
because
that
he was the
was-
only one that could actually do anything in that group.
well, I mean, as far as talent goes, yeah. I mean, now mind you, Ashante the Adonis,
It's not
he's
bad.
got promise. He's got some learning to do, and he's terrible on the mic. So. And then the female in that group, nobody really cares anyway.
Yeah, no one cares.
Just nobody cares. She didn't do anything.
No one
She was just
cares.
she was eye candy in the group, and yeah. Anyway, and Top Dollar's a joke as a wrestler, as in a whole. He needs to go back to football or get a rap career or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to think.
That happens to me.
I
a
like
lot.
Samoa Joe. I don't feel bad for MJF losing in his hometown.
No, that's normal.
That's
That-
normal.
That's wrestling 101. I
Yeah,
mean, that's
that's
kind of what
rap-
you do.
yeah.
It's to build sympathy for the devil, more or less.
Yeah, I honestly don't like the yeah, oh. But going back, I did not really like the angle they're going. I like the devil storyline and turning it into the Undisputed Kingdom, which I think is a dumb name, but I'm okay with it for the time being.
I get why they're calling it that, but
I understand why they're doing
what
that.
they
'Cause
need to do is
can't
come up with a better name and like reinvent the group.
be like the devil and the devil's men or something. Bring the devil more into this. Because that's how it was in there. Did you know Shayna Baszler has 2 title reigns combined for 549 days with the title, with the NXT Women's title?
That doesn't surprise me. She was a very dominant champion in that time.
I'm still looking this up. I think I found my answer though.
Well, we're about to leave here, man. It's about time. So if you don't have it, you're gonna have to save it for next week. Dun 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 dun.
Roxanne Perez, I think, was the youngest NXT Women's Champion.
We'll go with that unless you find out otherwise.
Yeah, we'll go with that because nothing else is saying otherwise.
All right, folks, I think that's going to do it for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed our show and our speculation and our inability to remember anybody's name.
Or titles.
Or titles. All right. Yeah. So join us next week as we will be bringing you another little adventure, and hopefully we don't lose any people and our lives can get back to normal. All right. Woo. See you later. Bye-bye.
This podcast is part of the Robots Radio Rocket Club, a program designed to help all podcasts reach their full potential. For information about joining the Robots Radio Rocket Club, check out robotsradio.net.